What a beautiful day to defend democracy, especially at Farragut Square, which has always been very pretty. Regime change does begin at home. Yes. Nice. I went to that recently. It's alright, but the rest of the Spy Museum is great, and you can check out my HistoryFlights tours of that at the link. So this is where the fun begins. I also did not realize there would be a giant crane. Woo! Well, the fascists have closed off the White House. What else is new? Make America respected again, indeed. Nice sign. Nice. Proposed Amendment 28, Donald John Trump, you're fired. Rick for Dictator.com. Hey, you know, a random guy named Rick would be a better dictator than Donald. At least he wouldn't get us in a war with Iran. When you elect a rapist, expect to get fucked. And what was the other side? The Trump administration is a terrorist organization. I should know. I work a block away, and they are trying to illegally terminate us at Consumer Financial Protection Bureau.
Well, there you go. Yeah.
Exactly. Veto the Cheeto. Hate never made America great. Oh, wow. Neighbors kidnapped indeed. So many great signs. Oh, this TSA stuff. A bunch of untrained goons are not going to do the TSA's job. They just want to normalize ICE being wherever the dictator sends them. Especially to the midterms. Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. This brutalist headquarters is as beautiful as the day I lost it. That is a lot of construction equipment and trucks, I must say. Huh. I've walked by here how many times, and I never knew that this was the office of the trade representative. Glorious day. More queens would be helpful. Clean up on aisle 47. I've seen that quite a bit. I want my government neat. Love it. I thought that was a protest, but I guess there is also some construction going on. Maybe? Yeah, I mean, there has been some lately. This is March Madness. So many freaking fences. The coward. Well, quite the crowd, but not too crowded, so that people can actually move very freely, which is really nice. I love that hat for your dog. What does it say?
Partner in crime.
Aw, how adorable. Yours is the funniest sign yet. Fortunately, plenty of congresswomen still have ovaries.
Oh, yay!
National Guard, go home! You are not a Praetorian Guard for a king! I've actually been here, and I was on a tour once with my school group. It was really nice. The raw ice is melting. I love it. Keep the immigrants, deport the racists. Love that too. Well, how's the Dow now, Bondi? It's below 50,000. That'll be your legacy. When you have so many items, you have to add an extra sign that's falling down. All right. Nice quotes. What's the other side? Oh, yeah. I forget who said it, but I just recently read a quote from Nobody's Girl, the book Virginia Giuffre wrote, that said, basically, the thing that's wrong with the world is that everybody minds their own business and doesn't stand up for others. You, my friend, are standing up for others, and I appreciate that. And of course there's merch. It wouldn't be Washington, D.C. if there wasn't. Seriously, though, with the Trump 2028 hats, that is unconstitutional. Again, with this bullcrap. Profiteering on both sides of this. Despicable. Huh, I've never seen this before. Bullfinch Gatehouse, erected about 1828 under direction of Charles Bullfinch, architect of the Capitol. This gatehouse stood until 1874 with another now at 15th and Constitution Avenue at the west entrance to the Capitol grounds. Cool. I did not know any of that, but it's very nice. Okay, now this merch I can get behind. I do like my ice crushed, after all.
No, you do. Get that shirt, baby.
Maybe later. Woo! Love to see a pride flag. Oh, this is such a neat little free museum on the mall. The lockkeeper's house. Can't believe it's still standing after all this time, but I love it. And that the audio description box appears to be solar powered. That's so cool. Plus there's a little tactile model here. Huh. I approve. Oh, okay, enter on the other side of the house, but I do want to read the plaque. Lockkeeper's House, formerly the eastern terminal of the Chesapeake and Ohio Canal. Erected about 1835, the canal passed along the present line of B Street in front of this house, emptying into Tiber Creek in the Potomac River. Oh, now this is a cool little map. Wow. Of the entire mall.
You know, if you want to, also that this is a map here for today, and this is a map, they'll show you the map, compare the map at different time.
Oh, wow, a pull-out map.
So this is 1837. So this is 1937. So this is a house here, and we show
Wow.
you know, this is all open water. So
Yeah, yeah.
Where are we right now?
we are right now. This is Washington Monument. We are right here.
Okay.
Up to the house.
When will they do another presentation?
Oh yeah, I can show you.
Oh yeah,
anytime.
yeah. You don't mind?
No, of course, of course. That's what I'm getting.
Cool. I'm excited for that. Oh. So many nifty little features I've noticed that seem to be new.
Yeah,
Like the solar panels for the audio description. That's so cool. A lot packed into this neat little museum. Huh. How about that? Ooh. Oh, there's a street view too. Oh, wow, that is so awesome.
I don't really fit in with all the grand monuments on the National Mall. But I've been here the longest, and I want to tell my story. The story of a growing country and a changing landscape. For centuries, a lot of what you know as the National Mall was actually underwater. This area was wild wetland and woodland, where the Nacotchtank people fished and foraged. We're now standing at the place where the Tiber Creek once flowed into the Potomac River. And that little creek has a lot to do with why I am here. When George Washington planned the nation's capital in 1792, that creek was to be transformed into the Washington City Canal. Before railroads, freeways, and air travel, there were canals, water highways for transportation and trade. So of course the new capital city needed one. In 1837, the Washington City Canal was linked to the Chesapeake and Ohio, or C&O Canal, a much longer route that ran from Washington, D.C. all the way to the Allegheny Mountains. Between the two canals, there was a lock that raised and lowered boats so they could move between the waterways. The C&O Company needed someone to operate the lock 24/7, and that person needed a place to live. So they built me. I still remember the clip-clop of mules and horses towing the boats along the banks of the canal. The lockkeeper would go out to collect the toll from the captain and let them through. I was both the lockhouse and the home. The place where the lockkeeper and his family ate, slept, and played.
This tiny place? Wow.
Life outside of the walls was also busy. In the mid-1800s, the sounds of construction as thousands of workers raised new buildings and monuments on every block. Many of these workers were enslaved people.
Well, that won't be allowed to be known in Trump's America. DEI.
Their labor. I'll never forget the fear and the cruelty that I witnessed at that time. The capital's population grew, and the city canal just couldn't keep up. Sewage ran right into the water.
Oh.
Many of my neighbors, including White House residents, got sick and even died from the swampy conditions. By the late 1850s, the city canal shut down, and there was no longer a need for a lock between the canals. The boats disappeared, and the lockkeeper and his family moved out. My short life as a lockhouse had ended, and I was left behind, the silent witness to history. During the Civil War, I heard news about the devastating fighting all around me. I saw wagons bring thousands of broken men to the hospital on the mall. I watched as Union soldiers marched and drilled nearby, while cattle to feed the army grazed by the unfinished Washington Monument. If you can believe it, they used to call it the Beef Depot back then. In the 1880s, I saw the canal filled in and the Potomac River dredged. My waterfront view was transformed into acres of new parkland for the National Mall. As time passed, some of the world's most iconic museums and memorials became my neighbors. Through it all, I've seen the nation's history reflected in the people around me. They've made their homes here and built a thriving capital city. They've defended a nation and marched to demand change.
Again, won't be allowed.
And like you, they've come to learn about our shared history, to honor those who have served, and to commemorate those who
Oh, it extends under the wall too. Neat.
As for the future, I plan to be here to witness it all.
Such a cool little museum.
Thank you for coming. Thank you very much. Have a great day.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, another display that won't be allowed by King Trump if he has his way with the Smithsonian and the National Park Service. All right, onwards with no kings. Slava Ukraini and free Palestine. Free Israel and free Palestine. Two-state solution, period. I'm sorry. That's the only practical solution. It's always been the only practical solution. And I know what it's like to lose people to terrorism. So, don't tell me that Israeli civilians don't matter too. All civilians' lives matter. All wars need to end. Oh yeah, I heard there was a kite festival going on at around the same time. Very cool. And it already looks like cherry blossoms are starting to bloom a little earlier this year. Though I forget off the top of my head when the actual Cherry Blossom Festival is supposed to be. I think it's later than usual this year. What a backdrop for kite flying, though. Salute the Washington Monument, which I have never been able to go inside because it was closed for so long due to the 2011 earthquake, and then the pandemic, and then all the gestures to everything.
Jammer. 30 years of incredible flying. Red, white, and blue. I don't know about you, but nothing gets my heart pounding. Let's see, red, white, blue, kites in the sky with tails flying to a patriotic song. Oh wait, does that say?
It's tough to feel patriotic lately, but this definitely does.
Sorry, see, I don't even pay attention.
Oh, and in the background, look at the amazing architecture of the National Museum of African American History and Culture. I did a whole tour of just that as well, so check that out please. And be sure to subscribe and hit the bell for future episodes of History Flights Productions. Oh, not quite. Still looks like a very fun game of cornhole going on. Oh, so that is the Cherry Blossom Festival, actually. Yard games. Nice. Or maybe it's just Cherry Blossom related, hosted by this radio station. Again, I'd have to look that up. I do not have internet right now because I'm trying to save battery while recording so much. Okay, yeah, nope, this is definitely the Cherry Blossom Festival. So cool. So many pink and white tents. Could not have picked a more perfect day to go out to the National Mall. So refreshing. Just the right amount of wind, too, for kites, American flags, and my heart to flutter with pride. Their names will never be forgotten by history, but the criminals who murdered them will, once we punish them. Oh wow, an entire Red Baron airplane kite. I love it. Ooh. Whoa. Okay, I think it's catching the air. Whoa! Oh! It's gonna be dogfighting with Snoopy soon. Oh, so gorgeous. Sir, you win my favorite kite of the festival, hands down. This field of kites is all of us at No Kings, soaring with hope for a better America. Oh, and apparently crashed into the ground. That's ruining my metaphor. There are no cats in America, and the streets are paved with cheese. There are no cats in America. Listen to 5-0, there's no kings. Yeah, definitely. I mean, they were being very purposeful with their metaphor there of it relating directly to the Russian pogroms of the late 19th and early 20th century.
And here we are again.
And now they're like censoring Animal Farm by saying that alcohol is no juice and making it humorous with Seth Rogen. Of course he's an out of touch of playing Napoleon. But it's like, we're just too afraid to say anything that's real in America anymore.
That is so true. Well,
I trust in the integrity of elections, yeah. And they can't really do anything with ICE because it's a total disaster at the airports still. Well, how are they going to send like a bazillion ICE agents to every polling center?
right? Oh, they'll find a way.
I mean, they'll try, but then they'll get sued into oblivion.
We hope.
Yeah. Oh, cool. I will definitely download that app for sure. Oh, wait. I can't. I don't have internet, and I would have to buy a VR headset that's like Google Cardboard level quality. They've spent $1 billion on these stupid detention centers so far. It's so amazing to me that we have so much money to imprison people, yet we can't afford Medicaid and Medicare and stuff. Oh.
And Star Wars.
Exactly, that are costing $1 billion a week.
Right.
Oh.
So.
Endless money for the rich, nothing for us. That's the thing. They're tired of playing by any sense of rules. Oh, and did you know that on an official call with Prime Minister Modi of India, between him and Trump, Elon Musk was present? How fucking awful. All right, in-person same-day tickets. I gotta think about that when I'm back. That would be a great History Flights Tours episode. So again, please be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more. Oh gosh. The once great Capitol building, violated on January 6th and now desecrated by the Republicans in Congress who refuse to do their jobs and just fund DHS except for ICE and Border Patrol already. Oh, wow. What a nice entrance. Ooh. Some kind of Japanese music? Very talented band. I'll stay here for a bit. Quite the lively day on the mall today. Woo! Nicely done. More amazing cherry blossoms. What a supreme confluence of positive events. Oh no! Your kite will rise again, just like America. Orange lives matter. I love the sign. Nice. And I'm coming up on my ultimate destination, the Lincoln Memorial. Amazing view right now, especially of the reflecting pool and the World War II memorial. Let's Let's go fly a kite up to the highest height and send it soaring up into the atmosphere, up where the air is clear. That's all I remember from when my sister and I did a production of Mary Poppins when we were kids. Majestic to see kites and cherry blossoms together like this. Whoa, that bubble is going on a journey. It's still going! Okay, I think it finally popped. With a great selection of music that I hope won't get copyright claimed. Okay, this is the second coolest kite I've seen at the festival. Whoa! Soar on, buddy! Oh, a close third is this one. Wow. Are those kites in formation? Wow. Amazing. But they're so synchronized like that. That must take an incredible amount of skill. When I was a kid, I could barely fly kites normally. Equity for all. I love it. Oh, now that is a bubble. Why are you like this? Another spectacular bubble. Woo! The segways come rolling 2 by 2. Hurrah, hurrah. The segways come rolling 1 by 1. Hurrah, hurrah. The World War II Memorial, where we gained a status as the world's hero and have been coasting off of that since then. Huh. I did not know that George W. Bush dedicated this memorial because, well, I was about that age when I first started going to Washington, D.C., like 2002, 3, so I didn't really know. But look at these murals. Phenomenal. Women who stepped up were measured as citizens of the nation, not as women. This was a people's war and everyone was in it. Colonel Veta Gulp? Hobby? Huh. That might be a little weathered. But one of my grandmothers was in the factories, so yeah. A lot of grandmothers were. I will give Franklin Delano Roosevelt this. He sure knew how to make a speech. It's good to see that states and territories at the time, including the Philippines, which gained independence in 1946, are being honored here. For some reason, I thought the states were in alphabetical order, but it doesn't seem like they're in any order. Huh. Did you know that the original symbol of America was supposed to be the turkey? Because Benjamin Franklin wanted it to reflect America's humility. The eagle has certainly been a source of pride and strength for depictions of America, but, well, it is also a very imperial bird, even as this statue shows it lifting up a wreath of liberty. What a great view of the Pacific side of the conflict from here. It's a shame that the fountains are not active, but I can kind of understand why. Sitting with your feet in the water is okay, but walking is not. Interesting. Oh, okay, I see. Interesting.
Second only to the loss of more than 620,000 Americans from our Civil War.
Most of that, the Civil War deaths were from disease, because they debated about washing hands when trying to save President Garfield and rooted around for the bullet with their dirty fingers.
Yeah, I read about that, yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm glad that my grandfathers were not one of them. Oh, wow. That is a lot of stars. If more Americans reflected on the price of war, they would not be so eager to elect congresspeople who would get us into war, or let a wannabe dictator do the same. Hey, Harry S. Truman is no FDR, but he's got some good words too. More National Guardsmen. Ugh. Can DC stop being occupied, please? New York, from whence both my grandparents served. The President of the United States, however, has never served in war, nor had any family members who did. So he treats war like a reality TV show, like he does everything else. When looking up at these REITs, at these state names, at the stars, it's supposed to fill you with a sense of awe for what people went through to defend our freedom. When that is forgotten, that's when fascism can happen. Can people not treat the reflecting pool as a trash can, please? Come on. Oh, it's just pollen. But there is human trash here. Ugh. This. Ugh, gross. Make way for ducklings. Well, full ducks, but still. Hope whoever was on that flight wasn't waiting for 4 hours or whatever, or having to deal with a bunch of ICE agents. The crowd by the Lincoln Memorial is not as large as I remember for, say, the Women's March, but it is still quite substantial. Huh. I need to finally see They Live.
Yeah, you do.
It's a great movie, so I'm told.
It's a horrible movie, but it's a cult classic.
Oh, I see the difference there. Wow.
So it's one of those that flopped at the box office, but it was so campy and cheesy that it developed a following.
Yeah, especially for its political commentary in the late 80s.
And it is
as a reaction to Reaganism.
Powerfully apropos for today's political climate.
Seriously. The guy got away with treason twice. First, the Iran hostage crisis he delayed for his inauguration, and then the Iran-Contra scandal.
Oh, you're going back to Reagan. I gotcha.
Yeah. But that really laid the groundwork for today, and then the groundwork for that was Nixon, and the groundwork for that was so much white supremacy.
Oh, 100%. Going back to Jim Crow era laws and all that stuff.
And before that, the Confederacy with I know who I was searching for, with Andrew Johnson pardoning them instead of executing the ringleaders.
Well, so my knowledge, and I could be mistaken, the Confederacy was never pardoned. So they were, because you can't pardon treason. So sedition is an act of treason. So anybody in the Confederacy was a traitor to the Union, to the United States. What Congress did after the war was they extended veterans benefits to the widows of the Confederate Army in order to, as an act of compassion.
They also passed the Amnesty Act of 1872 in order to allow former Confederates to run for office again.
So the treason was never pardoned, I don't believe. Because like I said...
I have to look it up again.
The treason is a non-pardonable offense.
Huh. Well...
So that's one of the reasons
are we sure about that?
We're facing now.
Huh. Let me look it up. What an incredible view of the reflecting pool and Washington Monument, and just a little bit of the Capitol building from here. Oh, this temporary ramp appears to be new. I really appreciate the ADA accessibility here. Oh no, more fascist America 250 bullshit. What a tiny dog! I love it! Oh, cute buffer. I can't seem to find the plaque that says Martin Luther King Jr. spoke here.
Like it said,
Oh, okay. Cool. I was worried for a second. The man himself. It's a good thing his knees are marble, otherwise all that sitting down would hurt. In this temple, as in the hearts of the people for whom he saved the Union, the memory of Abraham Lincoln is enshrined forever. 77 years ago, our fathers brought forth on this continent a new nation, conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. Now we are engaged in a great civil war, testing whether that nation or any nation so conceived and so dedicated can long endure. We are met on a great battlefield of that war. We have come to dedicate a portion of that field as a final resting place for those who here gave their lives that that nation might live. It is altogether fitting and proper that we should do this. But in a larger sense, we cannot dedicate, we cannot consecrate, we cannot hallow this ground. The brave men living and dead who struggled here have consecrated it far above our poor power to add or detract. The world will little note nor long remember what we say here, but it can never forget what they did here. It is for us, the living rather, to be dedicated here to the unfinished work which they who fought here have thus far so nobly advanced. It is rather for us to be here dedicated to the great task remaining before us, that from these honored dead we take increased devotion to that cause, for which they gave the last full measure of devotion. That we here highly resolve that these dead shall not have died in vain, that this nation under God shall have a new birth of freedom, and that government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from the earth. This is obviously a lot longer, so I'm not going to read it out, but I get the sentiment of the second inaugural, but I think that people were too interested in reconciliation back then, and that there should have been much more accountability for the leaders of the Confederacy than there actually was.
You gotta,
Oh.
yeah, come over.
Okay.
Okay, cool.
Okay, thank you.
That's fine.
All right. Friends, Americans, country folks, lend me your phones. 12 years ago, I, D.C. Shepherd, stood up on a podium, got my degree at American University, and vowed to make a difference for this land that I love. Today is that difference, and you are all making that difference too by standing here and showing up and getting loud for your rights and those of others. You see, despite knowing about history and having very little power to do anything concrete to change it, as a low-level federal employee for these past 11 years, my oath to the Constitution binds me to hope and determination. My special interest since 6th grade has been current events and historical stories, especially when it comes to America. I read all this despite the risks to my mental health and to my fiction backlog, because history, for the Greek word for it, it means knowledge gained by inquiry, is the greatest, most complicated, amazing, terrifying human story ever told. I have never felt more connected to humanity as an often dehumanized autistic person than when I read about history, beautiful and terrible. And history tells me Americans like you will rise up for their rights because they have risen up generation after generation against even the most powerful presidents to change their histories with resilience, showing that we can, perhaps one day, rest peacefully with those we love, with our families, and in an America free of the orange blob. My fiance's 10-year-old son in Eswatini, Africa, who I'll get to see exactly once in December this year, after visiting her in Durban, South Africa, the week before, when I last got to see and hold the lights of my life in October, gives me that hope when I see his wonderful smile. Yet I am afraid of how to make sure he will be judged by his brilliance in math and French, his adorableness and his kindness, and not the color of his skin, when I hopefully marry her and adopt him in 2030. Still, I'm fighting for real history, to make sure that she and I can, at least in our little union, together, at long last help establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity. Let's talk about children for a moment. Our children, innocent human beings, whose protection is supposed to be enshrined in the preamble. Children who have been kidnapped and used as bait and caged like animals. Children deported even as U.S. citizens with their parents by this criminal regime. 175 children murdered in Iran. A child orally violated by the President of the United States. America is a very dualistic nation because it never dealt with the legacy of its hateful side properly after the Civil War and swept everything under a dark rug. It has remained a part of the whole of America, concealed under a layer of civility politics. Multiple of even the greatest presidents did horrendous things unilaterally. Jackson ignored the judiciary to genocide Native Americans. Teddy Roosevelt did the same thing to Filipinos. And FDR caged Japanese Americans like animals. We are seeing those same things being done to Iranians and Latinos because institutions keep closing our eyes to history. Yet the union I have faithfully served has drawn people to its shores, yearning to breathe free, to a country with a lamp lifted by the golden door, inspiring resistance to hate within and without it. It has given hope for the pursuit of happiness upon finally defeating what President Garfield called the demon of slavery, upon codifying the dignity of worth of every gender and race and sexuality into law. After hard-fought struggle, after defeating the Nazis and rebuilding a ruined Europe, and upon breaking the power of robber barons once before. What works about America is not that it's exceptional, it's that it's very ordinary, full of people like you and me, whose speech will never be abridged as long as we use it to shout down what's wrong about America. Even presidents are just people. Born subjects of a crown, they risk their lives, their fortunes, and their sacred honor to throw down. Born in Kentucky log cabins and in Hawaii to Kenyan and Kansas parents. Born sickly and paralyzed later in life. Perhaps America will never truly be a shining city on a hill like it claims. But there is something about this union that keeps inspiring hundreds of millions of people down the years to keep trying anyway. I will never stop fighting for the better angels of our nature until my last breath. Because my grandfather's service in World War II, though they never saw combat, they volunteered for what they thought was right, cannot mean nothing. Because my grandmother's sacrifices as a nurse cannot mean nothing. Because my mother's hard work as a pioneering woman in the workplace cannot mean nothing. Because my dad, being the first of his family to go to college, cannot mean nothing. Because my sister's marriage to her wonderful husband cannot mean nothing. Because my love for my baby bird and little man cannot mean nothing. If the tree of liberty must at last be refreshed once again by the blood of tyrants, if honored dead must consecrate this hallowed ground once again, then so be it. But let it instead be watered, for now, by the millions on this and future no kings, and by the tens of millions more in a revolution of love, of neighbors caring for neighbors, and that will not be televised to yell that we're American, we're mad as hell, and we're not going to take it anymore. We want a president who reminds us of all that is right and good about this place, who asks us to do for our country, who will not perish government by, of, and for the people. President pedophile, you will rue the day you sent an angry mob to murder Congress and the vice president. You will rue the day you terrorized trans people. You will rue the day you tried to play emperor of the world, invaded Washington, D.C., murdered American citizens in broad daylight, tried to take actual history out of museums, terminate me and 1,000 other hardworking Consumer Financial Protection Bureau employees, who are the only ones who have upheld their oath to the Constitution, you fucking traitor! And you will rue the many long days you have kept me from my fiancé and our son. Government by, of, and for the people shall not perish on the watch of HistoryFlights Productions. I shall never break my oath. I have one life to give for my country, and as long as I draw breath, I will not let my country die. I am a chronicler. I am the wrath of history. And you are too if you raise your voice against hate, against chaos, against tyranny. I am D.C. Shepherd. Well, another amazing statue that's probably going to be eliminated by King Trump for DEI. $58,000 in total. At the Vietnam War Memorial, they're all very simply and elegantly memorialized. This will be the last thing that I film for this History Flights tour. And I'll be silent now to respect the fallen.
I understand. Mixed messages. It happens.
Phone's always dying. I text you. Now your phone's dying. Don't do this.
Kind of tasteless to joke about phones dying here, but whatever. People are coarse and now.
They lose a lot of things.
Try to rest easy, having learned some history and seen some kites and cherry blossoms and amazing signs.